Is there black magic in shamanic circles? Are psychic attacks real? When I started this path a gazillion years ago, I thought that things like shaman wars were the stuff of Carlos Castaneda books. I never anticipated being on the receiving end of something I would call harm magic. And yet, my naive little bubble got burst fairly early on of recognizing that anything powerful like plant medicine and shamanic modalities of healing can be used to intentionally cause harm. Just like any tool, any medicine, anything that exists can either be for healing and for love or to cause harm. So, of course, it's true that humans who learn these incredibly powerful modalities in the shamanic space, as well as, learning to work with the medicines themselves, we can use those to intentionally harm one another. And it's happening all the time. So the thing about, psychic attacks, black magic, which I prefer to call harm magic, is that whether or not you believe in it, it's still real. So if you're skeptical and you think that skepticism or the denial in the presence of energies and just these kinds of attacks that happen in the intangible space, they're real. And like I said, my naivete got burst in recognizing, like, oh my goodness, what happened to me is I pissed off a shaman. Long story, not important. And I started having an awareness that there was some really dark energy coming in my field on a regular basis. My teacher felt it. He basically confirmed that I was under attack. In the course of a year, my home got a scorpion infestation. I literally had a gigantic centipede crawling on me in ceremony that I thought was energetic. And then my cat found it and I realized it was real. All kinds of things happened. I got hit with a shamanic dart in a restaurant one night and passed out. I remember it hitting the back of my neck and fell right over. So I went through that for the better part of a year of being attacked in my sleep, and it took me a while to get through the place of shock and denial. Then went into a big round of victim processing of why me, and just freaked out. And then eventually got to the place of well, this is happening probably to strengthen me, to teach me the art of protection, because what better way to learn it than to have to? And so I did. I started really grounding in dieting plants, sage, that were helping me to crack the code of sovereignty, and really started to learn, in the words of my teacher, the best offense is a good defense. So learning how to hold my space with love, to not let these energies in. So long story short, it's one of the most sacred parts of my journey is getting to be the recipient of an angry shaman doing harm magic on me, because I found out how to work with it. And I also found out that people do this to each other. Of course they do. Unhealed people heal other people or hurt other people. And it's just a reality of not only the shamanic work, but our world. So, these energies are real. Entities are real, just as real as you and me. And, the experience of people intentionally causing harm was something as beautiful and wonderful as ayahuasca, wachuma, et cetera. It's very real. So I get asked the question a lot, how and why would ayahuasca, any of the plants, allow, a shamanic practitioner to use them in the space of harm? And the thing is, the plants, they don't prevent our karma. They don't intervene with our free will in order to create a positive outcome. To them, it's all a positive outcome in a way, because every choice that we make, every experience that we have, it brings a level of learning and insight and mastery. So, I don't know that if you interviewed ayahuasca and said, are you happy people use you to cause harm? Probably not. My experience is she has some rage. She has some opinions. But again, like a good mom, she does not intervene and coddle and prevent us from learning our lessons in this really, really hard way. So I share this with all of you, especially if you're relatively new to the plant medicine spaces. Is the best thing that you can do is make spiritual protection of yourself a priority. Even if you're sitting with a fantastic, well-meaning facilitator, your circle is full of love, there's always people, on either side of the altar that get wounded and want to harm others. Rather than give over our sovereignty and always trust that somebody else has our back, it's just a beautiful rite of passage in these circles. If we're going to do this work on an even somewhat regular basis, heck, even just by living in the world, which is crazy out there, right? That we empower ourselves to learn a lot about what it is to be spiritually, emotionally, energetically protected. I will no doubt do a video on that very soon of just some practices, but you can Google it. There's a lot of people in the mystical and spiritual spaces that have been talking about this for a long, long time, because it's always been a dicey world in duality. But there's a lot of innocence and a lot of naive trust in plant medicine circles that, oh, the facilitator will always have my back. And even those of us, myself included, that really, really make this a priority, safety, we can't do it all for everyone, and we're not perfect at it either. In my spaces, things still come in, and even in my own energetic field, my own body, because I have lessons to learn and because I'm not perfect at it. So learning to protect ourselves and just accepting the reality that humans hurt other humans when they have yet to be healed. So, I don't want to share any of this out of the space of spreading fear, but more empowering us that we don't have to give our power away to others to protect us. We are all powerful enough to protect ourselves, but please don't be naive in thinking that these things don't happen. There are so many stories of entity attacks and shaman wars, etc., and they are very, very real. So stay safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe to our channel, and I'll be sharing lots more content like this very soon. Much love.